a wake up, repent, and be part of the 1/3. Take a wake up, repent, and be part of the 1/3. Take a wake up, repent, and be part of the 1/3. Take a wake up, repent, take a wake up. Take a wake up, repent, and be part of the 1/3. Take a wake up, repent, and be part of the 1/3. Take a wake up, repent, and be part of the 1/3. Take a wake up, repent, take a wake up, repent. Take a bench, shoot black.
Officer R.A. Judah.
Officer Abraham.
Officer Ram.
Man, everybody forgot their name this morning. It's all right. It's all right. Y'all just get in. Just say your name. Let's open this thing up. All right. First of all, we're gonna open up with our disclaimer. All right. Let's read that.
We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a non-violent, Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat as stated in Leviticus 5:1.
All right. All praises. All praises. So, of course, this is Wake Up Jacob.
That's right.
Shout out
That's
to Soldier Ben Nye for that intro, man. Shout out to Soldier Ben Nye. So
That thing went down.
Right. Yeah. So, all right. So we're gonna go ahead and send up the prayers, and then we're gonna open up with our topic.
Men of Israel. blow trumpets. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you asking for mercy, grace, understanding, and peace. Heavenly Father, we ask that you shed peace to all your leaders across the globe that are teaching your word and raising up your children to come back to your laws, statutes, and commandments. We ask that you bless the bishops, the deacons, the captains, the officers that are doing the work. We pray for the sisters, the little ones, that you send healing and build up their faith. We ask this in your son's name, Jesus the Christ. Amen. Amen.
All right. All praises.
Let's get this.
You know, that's a beautiful thing when we open up, showing our mindset, man, that we, you know, about nation building. You know, we pray for our leadership, man, and all our brethren. You know, so all praise to the Most High for that. He put that on our spirit, on our leadership spirit, to, you know, train up leaders, man. Yeah. So what's the name of this class? Oh, this radio show. Wake up, Jacob.
That's right.
No justice, no peace.
No justice, no peace.
Right.
And when you know where that really goes into, from my perspective, my bringing up and things like that, is it's referring to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native American.
Right.
Before I knew that, I knew it was the black people, the black folks. You know, I knew it was the Mexican folks. You know. Right. All those type of, you know, bywords, it was referring to those people. But now we know it's the 12 tribes of Israel that's referring to.
That's
so
right.
no justice, no peace for them. You know, even when you look at the flag or whatever they salute to, it's not for us, man.
Sure not.
You know, when they set up laws and things like that, other nations have their own, govern themselves. We got Chinatown. We got a whole lot of other things. But when it come to us, where's our what's the word I'm looking for? Like, where our solidity at? Where our camaraderie at? With each other. You know, where's those things at? You know, where are we coming together at? Where we on one accord at?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Point. Right.
Yeah, you know what? Even we call them Ham, but the Africans come over and they have them a community.
Right.
You know, but how they say, you know where you can find a Jew? In the ghetto.
In the ghetto. That's right.
Yep. You know what's heavy about that? All these other people, nations that come, they didn't have to do a picket sign and hold a sign and demand different things. It was given to them freely. But here it is, 2020, and we still at the same situation from the beginning. I don't know if y'all brothers caught that. But
Right. You know, we constantly trying to get somewhere in this nation. You know, what make me think about that is, you know, we wanted 40 acres in the Meru when we got freed, and then, you know, then we went from that to want to equal rights, and you know what I'm saying, things like that. We done been through right here in America, you know. So, and that's why we came up to this topic, because even from that you had the what's they call hands up, don't shoot, all of these different things they trying to do to really say we have a voice, you know what I'm saying? So while we constantly trying to do that as a nation, we still not on one accord with those things. No justice, no peace for the Israelites.
Right.
That's the real thing right there. It's for the Israelites, you know.
You know what's heavy about that too? Our people, they trust in democracy.
Right.
You know, they think democracy is going to set us up, put us in place, put us in power. That it's doing nothing for us as a people.
Mm-hmm. You made me think about, like, years ago, that was a guy that used to be with us then. He left us and went to that political field.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't solidify those things. You can't help a whole nation just by one person being in the office.
Right.
It ain't gonna happen. Only one person gonna save us from this things that we're going through.
Well, you had a black president. Did that work out?
Heck no. Heck no. Hey, matter of fact, we know the results of that. Things were still happening to us. Right. You know, just like this topic. No justice, no peace. Things were still happening to us. That's why this topic is still relevant.
Right.
You know?
Right. Let's can we open up with that precept?
Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 28, and then we want to get into the clips that we have.
Yeah, definitely.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 64, officer. You got it?
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 64.
Verse 65, my apologies.
Verse 65.
Come on.
And among these nations shalt thou find no ease.
Nowhere, no matter where the black, Hispanic, and Native American is in this earth today, we ain't gonna find no ease.
But you heard what he said though in the precept. Amongst
Right.
who?
Among these
You
nations.
see that?
Right.
That's the point.
Among these nations, where the nations that we were scattered in
There you go.
slavery,
Right.
we ain't
Right.
gonna find no ease in
Right.
this earth. Right? Come on.
Neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest.
We ain't gonna find no rest. No rest in this earth. Come on.
But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart
Uh-huh.
and failing of eyes
Uh-huh.
and sorrow of mind.
He would give us a trembling of heart and failing in the eyes and sorrow of mind. Why? Because we were slaves. We were slaves. And we, like the officer just brought out about civil rights movement, Jim Crow, all these different eras where our
Right.
people were fighting for justice
Right.
against injustice.
Right.
We have no ease.
Right.
They would the first drive-bys. They said they promoted it, and during our generation, that drive-bys was black on black. But the first drive-bys was the Ku Klux Klan driving by, shooting up your house,
Yeah,
right.
and throwing dynamite and blowing up your schools.
Right.
The first terrorist in America was the Ku Klux Klan,
Right. Right.
bombing churches and bombing houses and throwing dynamite in people's yards and setting crosses of fire.
Right. And that goes right back to what I was just saying about the flag when it's supposed to be justice for all.
Right.
You know, these things
Right.
was happening after that.
Exactly.
That's right.
So how is that justice in that? Because if you're gonna look for a criminal, you will look for the criminal that's doing that act.
Right.
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 And
Come
you
on.
know, I'm like from a small town like Port Arthur. And Port Arthur is right near Vida. And I
Right.
went to school in the 80s, and that was still happening
Yeah, I
and
believe
still
that.
going
Yeah,
on.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
and I went to school in a little place called Groveton, Texas. They had a little town named Centerville. The school was probably about the size of a basketball gym.
Right.
But they kept it white. Let me put it like
Oh,
that.
I believe that.
They kept it white.
I
No
believe that.
black folks. I think it was one black family was there and they ran them off.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then there was another black family, a young black boy there. He looked mixed, so you couldn't tell.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? But they kept it white.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
watch this. You know how it was set up from the beginning not to be fair? In the Constitution, the so-called black man is what? 3/5 of a
There
man?
you
What?
go.
Right.
There you go.
Right.
You wrote that intentionally. You didn't
Right.
write that by accident.
Right.
You knew exactly what it was.
And the 13th Amendment was only written, and it tells you that it's let's get that. Find the 13th Amendment online, and we'll finish the scripture out.
Right.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 66.
Come on.
And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee.
Now, I know a lot of times we talk about lynchings and stuff like that, but what we going into today is no justice
Right.
in the justice system of America. So our brothers and sisters go through the justice system and their lives hang in doubt.
Right.
There's so many instances of brothers and sisters being wrongfully convicted and being locked up and put in the injustice system
Right.
and being in there for years
Right.
before their appeal get heard.
Right.
Now they done spent 10, 15 years behind bars. They institutionalize in their mind, and then they come out and have to be rehabilitated.
Right.
When they was wrongfully convicted in the first
Right,
place.
but that's what we segueing into though, because they was doing those things with their system they got set up now. It
Right.
started back then when they was lynching and doing those
Right.
things. They made laws that they can stop you, pull you over, and you never make it home. They
Right.
can run up in your house, throw a firebomb in your. They was doing those things,
Right.
so that led up to now when they convict you and is wrongfully convicted. They already been doing stuff crickly and wickily.
right, stop and frisk ain't new.
Right,
It ain't new.
Exactly.
It's an old tactic.
And it was targeting certain people.
Exactly.
Right.
Just like back then, what? Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. Just like back then, so shall it be today. Get that right there.
Hold on real quick.
Yeah.
Finish that one and
Yeah.
start that one out from the top. Really, I wanted to hit that one too.
Because Ecclesiastes 1 and 9 to tell you exactly what the officer about to go into.
Read that again.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 66. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee.
Once again, back then when they was doing those bombs, Martin Luther King, all of them, Fred Ham, their life was in doubt. Once again, look at us going on the streets. Our life is in doubt.
Right.
Right.
You see
On
what
the
I'm saying?
plantation?
Exactly.
Right.
On the plantation. Go ahead. I know a captain telling me they sending him on a route that they never sent him in this dark alley. You know, he feared for his life. I'm like, man, you know, hearing that from you, I'm like, I understand. I feel your fear because of what's happening to our people.
Right.
So I understand what he's saying. Okay, read.
And thou shalt fear day and night,
Mm-hmm.
and shall have none assurance of thy life.
That's it right there. Once again, that's how we've been living since we've been brought over here as a nation of people.
Right.
That has never stopped happening to us.
That's right.
Have never stopped happening from us.
Exactly. Exactly. Get that Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. Because the officer is bringing out a beautiful point, and we're going to get into the to these articles. We got a lot of stuff for y'all today, Israel. We want to make sure we get through it. Come on.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and verse 9.
Read.
The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be,
Come on.
and that which is done is that which shall be done.
Come on.
And there is no new thing under the sun.
No new thing under the sun.
Yep.
It was in spiritual Egypt. I mean, it was in physical Egypt.
Yep.
Now we in spiritual Egypt. It was under the Romans, and we under the same people.
Right.
Whether you know it or not, America is an extension of Rome.
Right.
They are the Romans.
Right.
All right, the Edomites, who
Right.
was the Romans
All right.
and the Greeks.
So let's try
So
to
it's
get
the
in,
same thing.
Yeah, let's try to get in one of these this clip and see
Yes, sir.
you know, about this no justice, no peace.
Which one you want to start with first, officer? You want to go to the article, the main article we're gonna deal with?
Yeah, let's go to the main one. Yeah, that'll be perfect. That'll be perfect.
It's gonna be the one that says
No justice, no
updated,
peace.
temporary stay lifted. The Montgomery Advisor. That's the one I want to deal with first. You got it? Yeah, that's it right there.
This is just a taste of what's happening out of we the sand of the sea, you know, and this is just a sample of what happened to one of our brethren.
And you know what? Israel forgets so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
They
they
forget
do.
these things so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to constantly refresh them.
Right.
This is your oppression.
Right.
This is not your rest.
Right. These are things that you need to be aware of. You know how it says written for our learning, things are written aforetime. Things have happened to our forefathers or our brothers that we see happening so often that we have to, you know, remind ourselves, hey, look, Israel, be careful. Look, Israel, this could happen to you.
Right.
You know. Wake up. You know, those are that be tuning in and not you know, taking heed to God's laws. This even could be you out there without that hedge of protection around you. You know.
All right, come on. All right, I'm just gonna read it. It says, a Birmingham man was scheduled to be executed Thursday for being an accomplice to the 2004 murder of 3 police officers, despite the trigger man saying he is 100% innocent. Nathaniel Woods, 43, was sentenced to death in 2005, though he is not actually accused of killing the officers and by all accounts did not have a gun at the time of the shooting.
Wow.
The U.S. Supreme Court entered a temporary stay shortly after 5:30 p.m. The court lifted the temporary stay of execution about 8 p.m., and the Alabama Department of Corrections began preparing for the scheduled execution. Such stays are routine before an execution to give justices time to review a case. The execution could still happen tonight if the stay is lifted before midnight when the death warrant expires. So they lifted the stay and the brother was executed.
Wow.
So I want to get into the story
In
of why,
2005,
sir.
he was
No,
executed.
he was just executed this last week.
Wow.
Wow.
Just this last week.
Wow.
So I want to get into what actually happened.
When was his sentencing?
2005.
2005 was
Yeah,
the sentencing. They
was the
executed him in 2020.
Yes, sir. So he's been behind jail bars for a long time.
Was that
All right.
about 20 years?
15.
15 years? 15? Wow, man.
So it says Woods, 43, was convicted on capital murder charges in the deaths of 3 Birmingham police officers in 2004. Charles Bennett, Carlos Curley, Owen, and Henry Harley Chisholm III was shot and killed in a drug house on Birmingham's west side on June 17, 2004.
Wow.
The shooter, Kerry Spencer, is on death row. An execution date for Spencer has not been set. This is the point right here. Though Woods has acknowledged he and Spencer sold drugs, he has not been accused of pulling the trigger. But at his 2005 trial, prosecutors argued that Woods had conspired with the shooter, Kerry Spencer. Alabama law makes a person legally accountable for the behavior of another person if he or she procures, induces, or causes such other person to commit the offense. Prosecutors did not provide evidence that Woods held or fired a gun during the incident.
So they don't have proof is what it's saying.
Yeah.
Right. And they said that a jury convicted Woods and voted 10-2 to sentence him to death. Spencer told the appeal last month that Woods was not involved and that there was no plan to kill the police. So the brother saying, I did that of my own accord.
Right.
He was not involved.
Right.
He had nothing to do with it.
Right. You know what else heavy in there? That's contrary to God laws and this land laws. They went off of, and I have a clip I put up there as well. They go off of one witness.
Right.
You said that in that statement. They said one person seen this man do that. And that's not how God governed it. It says 2 or 3 witnesses.
Right.
Right.
You know, let every word be established, you know, whether he's telling the truth or not. That's why they went from council to council to council, and they had to have witnesses.
Right.
That's how you're supposed to operate, man. So they way they do things, man, is definitely the opposite.
So here it is. The brother gets put to death, and you have no evidence that he, 1, pulled the trigger.
Right.
2, was planning it. And the killer himself say he ain't got nothing to do with it. You know what that lets you know? America, though, does not care about justice.
That's
Right.
right.
It's never been about justice. You see what I'm saying? It's
Yep.
always been about, you know what? We want to make sure that these people understand we control every single aspect of their life.
Right.
They always have motives behind whatever the heck they doing, whatever law they set up, whatever person they grab and put, what is it called? Things on him, plant things on him.
Right.
Yeah, they always have a motive why they do these things, man.
Right. And the amazing part is the comfortable mindset that our people have being
That's
here.
right.
Is the comfortability that our people have being in this captivity. It's like this is just normal. It's just normal. I'm normal. I'm chaos is normal. That's what it is. Chaos is normal, and anything that's outside of this is abnormal to me.
And see, that's the thing. Our people, they trust in. That's what I'm saying. They trust in this system, and they steady. The Most High is steady showing them that this system mean you no good
Right.
at all.
And you know what? I'm gonna take the words of Donald Trump. We done tried everything else. Why you won't try God's laws?
Right.
You didn't try Reagan. You tried Bush.
Right.
You tried our people tried Obama.
Right.
Our people tried who was the other one? Clinton. And that was the hardest time for us.
Right.
The Clinton wife was calling us super predators and monsters.
You know what else they didn't try to?
What?
Every religion.
Right.
Yes, sir. They
Every belief.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. So why don't
That's
you try the one and only true God?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let's pull up. You was done with that one?
Yes, sir. I just wanted the basic thing I wanted to touch on was that the brother was saying that his accomplice was saying he was innocent.
Right.
And they, of course, this is something they say is routine that they do, but you give the family false hope.
Right.
Because when I saw it, the family was all, okay, they lifted it.
Thinking
Then all of a sudden, bam, they was like,
the
nah,
charge
we're
is
just
gonna
going to
be
kill him.
dropped or something.
Yeah, or at least his appeal be heard.
Right.
So that lets you know, as the officer was bringing out, that this country is not concerned about us at all.
Right.
They're not concerned about whether we right or whether we wrong.
Right.
Like with the brother Khalif Browder. He was innocent.
Mhm.
He spent all that time in jail, and it messed up the brother's mind.
I remember that.
To the point where he killed himself in the end.
Yeah.
So they cause these traumatic
Right.
instances in our lives.
And they don't
know
care
what I'm
about
saying?
you being traumatized
Right,
or how you
exactly.
gonna be stable when you get out and things. They don't care, man.
Right.
There's nothing in place for you. But of course, they'll put their people all on the TV and
Right.
condone them and open up GoFundMe's and
Right.
they're gonna make sure they support their own.
Hey, they let you blonde your hair and look like a soccer mom and try
Right.
to portray you in a good light.
You're right.
You
You're
know what
right.
I'm saying?
We see that all the time.
They
I
just
can
want to
get 'em.
use us to stay at the top. That's all they want to do. They just want to use us to maintain their way of life,
Right.
they system. And it's
Right.
time for our people to wake up and understand that we can't be on, as a people, we can't be on different pages and think we're going to be unified. It don't work like that. Like, can't two walk together unless they agree. You can't go beyond that. You can't go past that.
Hey, officer, you know what you just said? So we want our people to realize this is what Officer Ram just said. Y'all need to wake up and realize for you, there ain't never gonna be no justice,
That's
no
right.
peace.
Can I get a scripture right quick? Michael 2:10.
Come on.
Just right quick.
There ain't never gonna be no justice in America for us.
No,
Come on, man. You got to be kidding
it
me.
wasn't designed that way.
Right.
Come on, dog. Ain't never gonna be no justice for us, man. Call and read it when you get it.
This is the book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 10. Arise ye.
So this is talking to you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. You're the biblical Israelites that we're trying to let you know and bring you back to the heritage out of America. It say, wake up. Read.
Arise ye and depart.
Depart from the ways of democracy.
Mm-hmm.
Depart from this justice system that's not giving you no peace. Read.
For this is not your rest.
This is not your rest. We all comfortable talking about voting. Every year we vote, and it's the same thing that happens to us. Read.
And the Bible said, "Don't put no other nation over you like that."
That's
right.
right.
You know? So
That's
why
right.
why you even that shows you that our people don't read the Bible,
Right.
And then their leaders are not teaching them the truth of the Bible.
Right.
There you go.
Right.
Read.
Because it is polluted.
It's polluted. You getting shot down in the streets. Injustice done. But the first thing, I'm going to vote him in. And the same thing is happening. Read.
It shall destroy you.
It's going to destroy you. It's go do all kind of damage. It's mentally messing us up.
Hey, officer, I really like that part. It like sparked something in me when it just said it would destroy you.
Right.
That's what Deuteronomy 28 and 48 said.
There you go.
It said the same thing. He said he gonna put a yoke of iron on your neck until he have destroyed you. So when we're already in a destroyed state.
Right.
You're in the destroyed state of mind. So now by you being destroyed, now you're trying to vote him in because you think that's gonna help you.
There you go.
Right.
So the person that murdered, raped, robbed you, right?
Right.
Now you go to them in a peaceful way and say, I know you're going to help me.
That's what our people do.
Man.
That's confusion.
That's madness.
That's madness.
Right.
That makes absolutely no sense.
right.
Because we think he Jesus. We think he Jesus, and if we come humbly before his throne, he'll have mercy on us.
Right.
You know what's heavy? It's because we believe they TV. We believe they
That's
for
good.
sure.
Another good point. That's
You see
another
what I'm
good
saying?
point.
We
That's
grow
right.
up seeing all these sitcoms that have a moral message at the end, but when you see the reality of your people, they don't act
that don't
way.
fit you.
Right.
That's not for you. That's not your reality.
Right.
Right.
That's
ahead.
why I said that, because Bishop Nathaniel and Deacon Yawasop always bring that out. When we
Right.
looked at them, we see Jesus.
Right.
Right.
You finish your precept?
Go ahead, finish it.
Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction.
So that's what I wanted to bring out to let people know. Because I'm pretty sure we got full of precepts up here, but no justice, no peace.
Yeah, man.
That's just like when our people say, we can agree to disagree. That's the dumbest thing in the world. You can't agree to disagree. You either agree or you don't agree at all.
Right.
And if
Right.
and if
There
and if
you
you
go.
don't agree, then that's a house divided, and a house divided can't stand according
Right.
to the scriptures.
Right.
So all of our people that's in these different ideologies that we all believe, you can believe what you want to believe, and I can believe what I want to believe. Nah, that ain't gonna work, and we gonna stay at the bottom and stay defeated as a people until we figure that out. That's why these heathens be laughing at us, because they figured that out a long time ago, and we still wandering in the dark. We still
Right.
trying to figure it out.
Here's something else. Let's look at this real quick. Put up that quote with Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln. Here's a quote for a former American president. He on your money, so I guess you in God we trust.
Right. Right.
Right.
All right, let's see one of his famous quotes. All right. All right, blow it up. Blow that thing up. All right, this is what Abraham Lincoln, you see his name at the bottom of it, showing you this is a quote that he said. All right, so we can't see it all the way. There we go. Okay, read that.
I am a firm believer in the people. If given the truth, they can be depended upon to meet any national crisis. The great point is to bring them the real facts.
You see that? That's what they trying to say. But you said that they appealed it, temporarily stopped it. Where the real facts at in that case with that brother?
Right.
Where's the real facts at?
Right.
They didn't do that.
No.
But this is something your president said even before this case was even thought about.
Right.
Can I say something about this guy right here? Israel. Whenever you get a chance after this class, look up something called the Old Slave House in Illinois. Abraham Lincoln was a friend of the person who had the Old Slave House, and the Old Slave House was like they would capture slaves
Right.
and push them right back down the river to in slavery. So kind of like 12 Years a Slave.
Mm-hmm.
They would capture slaves, free slaves in the Illinois territories, and push them back down into the slavery, down the river.
Same situation
Right.
they're trying to escape. They
Right.
push them right back into it.
Exactly. And they had slaves in the slave house, and they had Abraham Lincoln would visit the old slave house very often. So he knew about all of this.
Right.
So all of these people we think that cared about us and was concerned, they were not concerned about us at all.
You know, this even could go into what is it called, a coronavirus, where he said gonna bring the people the true facts. I seen quotes that right here in Houston that they said he presumptuously have. Bring us the true facts. Don't tell us no he presumptuously have this disease or this virus. No, give us the true fact. So that quote that he quoting right there is not for the people even in a crisis.
Right. Right.
That goes to show you they framing laws by mischief, how they don't be upright with you. That show you that.
Watch this. Can we put the quote back up? It was just too much there. We just got to expound on that a little bit. It says, I am a firm believer in the people. Now, I want you guys, Israel, put yourself here. Don't put American society. I am a firm believer in the people. If given the truth, if we go into the scriptures, the word of God, and show you, you did go on slave ships. You did.
Right.
You are suffering the curses of God, right? They can be depended upon to meet any national crisis. Do you know if we come to the words and the laws of God as the Israelites, what we can do together?
Right.
Wow. That's
Right.
right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Officer, when he voiced this quote, he didn't consider us people.
That's what it is.
We was not considered people. We
Right.
considered 3/5 of a man.
Or
So we wasn't
a
human.
property.
Yeah, we was considered property at the time.
He
So
talking to his
what
own
people is he
Right,
talking about? He
right,
ain't talking
right.
about us.
But
Right.
guess what? Look at the last. It says the great point is to bring them the real facts. Who's going every Sabbath in, Sabbath out in the streets, bringing the word of God to
Right.
the people?
That's right.
When you
Right.
when you say bringing them the facts, the facts could be interpreted as the truth.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
So we bring them the truth on the streets.
That's exactly
right.
what we're doing.
Right.
Hey,
That's
pull
singular.
Pull
That's
up that next quote with Jesus. So he said, I'm a firm believer in the people. Give them the truth.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
No justice, no peace.
And guess what? You ain't gonna get that truth from them because according to the Most High, ain't no truth in the so-called white man.
So that was one quote that they go by, that they put up, they recognize things like that. Let's look at this quote that they have in the same article and see if they go by this. Or really, do they even understand it, or do they perpetuate it into something else? All right, blow that thing up, man. Blow that thing up. And let's see who's the author who wrote this. We see Abraham Lincoln written something, but let's see who wrote this. All right, read that.
I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me.
Jesus Christ said that. And guess where they found that quote at?
Oh, I like that one.
They found that one in the Bible.
That's right.
That's a true quote right there.
Right.
That quote always gonna stand.
Right.
That's
Unlike
right.
Abraham Lincoln quote.
Right.
You know? So this is gonna bring our people justice. This is gonna bring our people peace.
That's right.
Right, because it's funny when you speaking about Abraham Lincoln, they always show him as the great liberator.
Right.
But then you have so many of our artwork show our people reaching up to him trying to get freedom, and he there like you a little pet dog or something.
Right.
Give me Lamentations 2:14.
Bring it out.
Lamentations 2:14. Because we still trying to find peace in America, and you not gonna find no peace.
Right.
I'm trying to tell you what this is. Captain Zakar, they've been touching on it. I think it was last week. They were talking about the housing system,
Right.
and how we fight and struggle to try to get a home, but then all we doing is paying rent all the time.
Right.
Yep.
At least on a home loan, you can be late every now and again. Of course, you don't want to be late too often, but you can at least be late.
Well, that's how
But-
people financial
right,
situation.
Exactly. But now you can't, like he was saying, you can't miss one day of work. You miss one day of work, you short on your check.
Right.
Right.
And then guess what?
Right.
Your rent ain't paid.
Domino.
And then they trying to put you out.
Right.
Ain't no work with you, no none of that. You out the door. Come on, get that.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 2 and verse 14. Thy prophets have seen vain and foolish things for thee.
That's not the one I want. 4 and 17. 4 and 17. Lamentations 4 and 17.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 17.
Come on.
As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
And I know our people. Is there more on it?
That is it on that verse.
Read it again.
Read it again. Yeah.
Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 17.
Come on.
As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
Because what was we doing, supposedly doing during this time? Trying to fight for justice, trying to get delivered from slavery.
Right.
And then when they delivered us from slavery, they paid the reparations to the slave master for letting his property go.
Right.
And then they were supposed to give us 40 acres and a mule. That's Deuteronomy, 28 and 36. We ain't gonna get, they gonna take the mule. We ain't gonna get none of that back.
Right.
So we were supposed to get 40 acres and a mule. The scriptures say you ain't gonna get it and you ain't got it.
Right.
So we was looking for a nation that could not save us. And then what did they do? They turned it into sharecropping, the 13th Amendment. And then they turned it back on us, and we had to go right back to the same slave master that we was delivered from in order to gain something from sharecropping.
Right. And that's, once again, that's the same thing today. That's why this topic is so relevant.
Right.
With the stop and frisk, with the
Right.
pulling over just to see if you have insurance, see if, do you belong in this neighborhood, all of that
Right.
stuff.
Right.
That's no peace, man.
Right.
Wake
Right,
up,
right, right.
nigga, Wake up.
Right. Our people don't realize what they really looking for. Y'all are actually asking your enemy
Right.
to be equal with. I mean, you got to think about it. They stole the land, the wealth, they stole
Right.
everything,
Right.
and you expect for them to give back to you what they took, which is the things that put them on top where they are still today.
Right.
They not idiots. They not finna give you a dime back. They not finna give you no land back. They not finna give you anything back.
Right.
So as a people, we need to wake up and stop watching for these heathen nations to save us and want to be equal. God said you above all people.
That's right.
What you want to be equal with people that's
right.
less than you for? That don't even make no sense.
You're exactly right. Because our people don't understand that, man. They've never been taught that. They was destroyed once the yoke of vine came off their neck.
Yeah,
they never been taught that. You never will. It's gonna always be hid from you. They hid the faces of the judges thereof. They did all of these things on purpose.
Right.
Let's read this precept real quick. Leviticus 26, start at 14. This is how they get down. And we just trying to wake our people up to see that. That's why I love the name of this show, man. Right. Wake up, Jacob. Really, you ever seen somebody would sleep real hard and they was shaking them? You know, shake them. Right. Wake up, wake up. What's wrong with you? Right. That's what we're doing now with people spiritually, man. Hey, wake up. Wake up. Right. Realize what's going on in this country. Realize that you're the people. Mm-hmm. Realize that God chose you. Realize that you have the promises. The blessings belongs to you.
That's right.
You might don't see them right now. We can explain why you don't see them right now. Wake up.
Right.
That's right.
You know?
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 26 and verse 14. But if ye will not hearken unto me and will not do all these commandments.
That's what happened. And he made a promise to us if we wouldn't. That's why the scripture opened up like that. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And if ye shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments, so that ye will not do all my commandments, but that ye break my covenant.
Yeah, we break the covenant. And that was that's why he said it's laws, statutes, and commandments.
That's right.
There's penalties for breaking those laws, statutes, commandments.
Right.
There's penalties.
Right.
And the
That's right.
penalty is, read.
And I also will do this unto you.
There you go. He about to tell you. Come on.
I will even appoint over you terror.
Terror. When you walking down the streets. You see what I'm saying? When you driving in your car down the street.
That's
when you
right.
pulling up to your house.
Right.
When you pulling up to your job.
Right. You know what? You know what, officer? I'm sorry. Could you imagine that young man getting walked down to the execution chamber,
Right.
knowing, hey, I didn't do this.
Right.
You know what type of terror he must have been feeling?
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely.
But one more thing. When people don't realize too, when the terror happens, especially people that's getting pulled over, you got to notice and you do background on the person that's doing. They either was doing drugs,
Right.
or they had warrants, or they failed to comply to what the scripture was saying, like, subject yourself to the higher powers. So you think about it and you say, wait a minute, why is it the ones that's keeping the commandments? What's going on? Why we don't hear nothing like that? Lord's will, we don't go to that, but right now
He keep the hedge of protection on us.
Yeah, he keeps a hedge of protection on us.
Right. That's right.
That's why I said that it wasn't the law wasn't made for the righteous, but for the unrighteous.
Right.
That's
right.
Right. The fool said in his heart there is no God. That's why people do whatever they want when they want to do it.
Right.
And man.
All right. Go ahead and finish that up.
It says consumption and the burning ague that shall consume the eyes and cause sorrow of heart.
Come on.
And ye shall sow your seed in vain.
Sow your seed in vain. He said another way that we're going to sow our seed in vain. He said also, I believe it's Haggai, that you're going to have a bag full of, your bag going to be full of holes, man. Just like the officer was just saying, how you can't afford to pay your house mortgage. You coming short up on your bills. All these different things is a curse.
Right.
It's a curse, man.
Right. And being rich, you ain't gonna escape just because you got a little money that Esau is the one who gave you, which means you beholding unto him.
Right.
And as soon as you offend him, he gonna snatch everything he took from you.
So you just said, you just proved the same thing. They under the curse too.
That's right.
Even if he got money, of our people.
That's right.
You're not above your nation.
Right.
When they give the so-called Jews, when they get a privilege, it's for the whole nation. That privilege is for the whole nation. So they can come from Israel, wherever they come from, all of their cities, and come here, and they still got the same right, the same privilege. It's for the whole nation.
It's for the It's for the whole nation.
Right.
Right.
Go ahead.
For your enemies shall eat it.
All
That's
right.
it on that.
Come on, 17.
Verse 17. And I will set my face against you,
Come on.
and ye shall be slain before your enemies.
You see that? Now, we always think it's with a gun.
Right.
But what about this one? You're slain before him as well with this article.
That's right.
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 They say, oh, let's wait. Okay, the pill going to be raised for a second. We put it back on, and then we're going to execute you.
Right.
He was slain.
Right.
He was still
And there was another brother that was here in Texas. They were trying to get his, I think his death sentence overturned, and there was some issues regarding that. And so it's our people are fighting for their lives wherever they go.
Right,
man.
right.
Wherever they at, they fighting for their lives.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And the main thing about it is, officer, is they doing it without governing themselves with God laws, without putting their faith in the true God that could overturn that thing.
Right. So the Most High mean it when he say, gather yourselves together, O nation not desired.
right.
We are the nation that is not desired. So as hard as y'all try, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, as hard as y'all try to be accepted by the heathens, the same people who destroyed you, who took everything from you, you gonna remain undesired because God said they don't desire you.
Right.
Right.
Was you finished with that precept?
Read 17 real quick.
Verse 17. And I will set my face against you, and ye shall be slain before your enemies.
Come on.
They that hate you shall reign over you.
They what?
They that hate you shall reign over you.
That's what's happening today. Read on.
And ye shall flee when none pursueth you.
When none pursueth you. Why? Because of terror that's in your mind already. You're already scared to death.
Right.
You know, and they put that up on us ever since they brought us here on slave ships. Why you think they was running in the woods hiding? They was full of terror.
Right.
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 And guess what? We've been raised the same way. You can't make it. You can't do this. If you walk down the street, be careful. Know how to speak to them. You're full of terror.
Right.
And
Right,
you know
right.
that's something
That's right.
amazing because you could be around a group of people
Mhm.
and you be sitting there, one person run right by you. Guess what the whole group
Bring
gonna
it
do?
out.
We gonna
Run
run.
right with it.
Hey.
Then ask him later, hey,
Hey.
where you was running?
Hey, that brother in the spirit, because I was just thinking that you can have a dude, a group of dudes on the block, they selling drugs, they hear cop sirens that probably ain't even coming for them.
Right.
They hear him
Right.
a couple blocks away. They all break out and start running. Why?
Right.
Because you know you in sin. You doing stuff you
Exactly.
ain't got no
Right.
business
Exactly.
doing. And God say he gonna appoint terror over you for breaking
Right.
his laws.
Right.
That's right.
That's definitely another point of terror right there, man.
Yeah.
How people knowing that they doing wrong, and then like what Constantly saying too, even if we ain't doing wrong, we get pulled over. Oh man, I
Yeah.
had on my seatbelt.
Yeah.
I got my insurance. Oh no, it just went out yesterday. You know, you're terrified.
Right.
You're terrified, man.
You start thinking about things you did in the 5th grade. Man, what, you know.
Hey, you know how they can run your plates now, right? And see if you got insurance, right?
Right.
Guess what? I still be wondering if I printed out my insurance,
I know.
even though they can. It's like, look,
Do I got it on me?
I got it on me.
Right.
You know what I mean? They already know whether you got it or not, but it's that it's the terror.
Exactly. 100% right. So that brother, like the officer said, was terrified for his life, knowing that they could take it from him, and that's what they ended up doing.
Right.
And we're going that next clip. I want the one for Twitter, and I want you to bring this precept out real quick.
Yes, sir.
This is going into bring verse 18 and verse 19, and then I want to go back to verse 16. All right, read verse 18 and 19.
Yes, sir. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 26 and verse 18.
Come on.
And if ye will not yet for all this hearken unto me.
Now this is when you read Leviticus 26 and Deuteronomy 28, Israel, they go hand in hand. This is just the Lord and Lamentations 5.
Right.
Leviticus 26, Deuteronomy 28, and Lamentations 5. They go hand in hand. Yep. And the Lord is showing you here, he's showing you the levels of Deuteronomy 28.
Right.
Right here. He's showing you I gave you a chance. Now I'm gonna punish you even more.
Right.
So it go from verses 15 to what, about 20, 26. Then he said, I'm gonna destroy you in war, and then you gonna go crazy. A whole bunch of stuff happened to us. Our kids sold. Then finally we scattered to the four corners of the earth. Deuteronomy 28:68. So read that. Read.
Verse 18.
Come on.
And if ye will not yet for all this hearken unto me,
Repent. Come on.
then I will punish you 7 times more for your sins.
God said, I'm going to punish you 7 times more for breaking my laws.
Wow.
Come on.
And I will break the pride of your power.
Because our people are prideful, rebellious bunch of folks. Rebellious group of people.
Yeah.
Come on.
And I will make your heaven as iron,
Uh-huh.
and your earth as brass.
That was when we had them chains and shackles on us.
Right.
Come on.
Verse 20. And your strength shall be spent in vain.
And I wanted to bring that out because our strength was spent in vain. Why? Because we was working for the slave master in the cotton fields, in the tobacco fields.
You wouldn't get not a dime
you would
of
get
that.
nothing in vain. That go right with what the Lord said. Your enemy shall eat it up.
Right.
Go back to verse 16 real quick, and then bring out that one off of Twitter. All right, verse 16. Come on.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 26 and verse 16.
Uh-huh.
I also will do this unto you.
Uh-huh.
I will even appoint over you terror.
The Lord said he will appoint over us terror. Why? Jump up to verse 15.
Verse 15. And if ye shall despise my statutes.
Because our people hated keeping the Sabbath. Our sisters hated putting on dresses and not wearing pants. Our people hated being corrected about homosexuality.
You know what that equals up to as well? Envying the oppressor. Give us a king like them. We want to do the things that they're doing. So it's still prevalent today.
Right.
We want a man to govern us. We don't want God governing us.
Right.
Because see, if you govern me, you can't see what I'm doing.
Exactly.
But God see everything I'm doing.
Right.
Yeah, I can go to you. I can lie to you.
Exactly.
I can't lie to God.
Right.
We desire
Come on.
to be like the heathen in all things.
Right.
So why did God appoint over us terror? Read it again.
And if ye shall despise my statutes.
We despise his statutes. That meaning I don't want to keep the Sabbath.
Right.
Read.
Or if your soul abhor my
Your
judgments.
inner man hated God's judgments. You hated God's judgments.
Right.
So if your cousin was breaking the Sabbath, you got mad because he got put to death. Your soul abhorred the judgments of God.
That's his judgment.
His judgment was death.
Right.
I hated that. I hated this. I hated that. The Lord is saying your soul, your inner man, you inside, you hate me.
And you know that's like up to today. You know, you do a person get corrected, the other people want to follow right behind it.
Right.
They mad because he got corrected.
Right.
That's my friend.
Right.
And he said, your soul abhor my judgments so that ye will not do my commandments. So that tells you right there, if you break God's laws, you hate God. You hate him. So that's why he's appointed terror over us. That's why we have to deal with this injustice system. No justice, no peace.
Right.
That's right.
And the only way you're going to really combat it is by keeping God's laws.
Right.
That's the only way.
He said, if you love me.
That's right.
He didn't say that the opposite of love is hate, right? So that means you got to learn how to love God all over again, and you can't do it alone.
Right.
For you, what is that? For you individualites, you can't do it alone because somebody had to show you how to love God.
Right.
Wake up,
Hey, you know, that's heavy to show you how far that we've fallen. The heathens, the Bible says that Jacob is the former of all things. And the heathens, they stole and took all of our customs. And I'm going to tell you, like something like Moab, the so-called Chinese, right? They have it in their mind to where when they mess up or do something wrong, it's called dishonor. Guess what? They got that from us.
That's right.
They got that from us. So we've fallen so far as a people that, like the officer said, when we get corrected, we fall to pieces and we want to rebel and go be individualites.
Right.
And but once upon a time, when we was a proud people, it was a big thing for you to dishonor your God and your people. It was a shameful thing, and the person who committed the act of sin, they felt the dishonor,
Right.
and they did everything they could to make it right.
Yeah,
Hey,
you
we
know,
fallen.
It goes back to it takes a village.
Right.
We had
Right.
that. We had that mindset. We would work with each other, and we would build each other up to make sure that, hey, you know what? Even though that's your child, that's still my child too, and I don't want nothing to happen to him.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But now, you know what? Going back to what I said earlier, this society has made us think that I got to live for me. It got to be about me.
Right.
Not about the nation, but about me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we're at such a low estate. If one brother looks like he's excelling against the other, oh, crabs in the barrel. Nah, bro. I ain't gonna support you. I don't even see the good in what you're doing because I'm not doing it.
Right.
You know, the
That's
only
mindset of our people.
And you know, the only little bit of that what I've seen this week, I don't know if any of y'all seen it, was the sister who was facing the racist comments against her feminine care products. It was all over Facebook, and shared it with my wife, and the sister was facing backlash because she did a video for Target. Target took up her products, and she said, I want to do this because I want young girls that look like me to see that they can do it too.
Right.
So they was trying to resist that and said, oh, that's racist. You know, her products sold out within a day.
Wow.
By the next day, all her products was gone off the shelf.
Wow.
And they said, that's the first time I've seen our people, since all of this stuff come together, actually support a black business.
Right.
Because her, you know what I'm saying? Her products was about the same price as the organic stuff.
Right.
So, you know, Jake, I don't want a discount. No, they actually, the sister stuff
paid
sold
for
out.
it.
Yeah, right.
She was sold out.
Right,
So
right.
we have glimpses of it, of us being able to come together as a people.
Right.
But why we come? Is it something that we come together for that we like? Because we hate God's laws, or we don't want to come together for that. Because I don't want you correcting me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Especially with this. Don't correct me with that.
Right.
Correct me with your words. Speak smooth words.
Exactly. Hey, I want to touch on something Officer Ram had brought out about that. How you said it, about that loyalty, about that dishonor, how something could be a dishonor, man.
Dishonor, you know.
We still right there in Leviticus. Let's not move from that real quick. Go back to verse 19. I want to pull another precept to go with that to show you the characteristic of our people. It was right here, and it's still prevalent today. We ain't lost focus on what our topic is about this injustice. We ain't lost that. But our people are at fault as well.
Right.
You know, and it started with rebellion. Watch this.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
26 and 19.
Yes, sir.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 26 and verse 19. And I will break the pride of your power.
Woo, you heard what he said? Our people were very powerful. They was over the other nations, but he said, I'm going to break that. That was one of the curses.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I'm going to bring you down low, and they shall be very high. That was one of the curses. Now, guess what? Now you terrified, and, you know, because you was full of pride. Because you resisted him. Now, watch this. Go to Sirach, chapter 10, verse, start at 12. Yeah, that's it.
Yes, that's it.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 12. The beginning of pride is when one departeth from God.
You see that? He showed it to you. Because of the pride of your power, here go one of the curses. They that hate you gonna reign over you.
Right.
He told us. He went into vivid details, just like the curses. You're gonna be sold on slave ship. You ain't gonna see your land no more.
Right.
He constantly told us all of that.
Right.
It was already prophesied to us. And once again, because of our pride, you see, that's another thing happened to us. Read.
And his heart is turned away from his maker.
Come on.
For pride is the beginning of sin. And he that hath it shall pour out abominations.
Come on.
And therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities.
What kind of calamities?
Strange calamities.
We never knew what type of things was going to hit us. We never knew it. We never knew that it was going to be injections to put you to death.
So we thought we was good, huh? We thought we was good, huh?
Right.
We thought this was our rest.
Right. Read.
And overthrew them utterly.
He overthrew us utterly, and he used the other nations as his sword to do so.
Yep.
Right.
I'm done. Go ahead.
Hey, officer, while you on that, let's get Isaiah 51 and verse 23.
Bring it
Isaiah
out.
51 and 23. Because when you said something,
Mm-hmm.
break the pride. Pride. Let's see how low did God bring us.
Right.
How low did he bring us? Let's see. Isaiah 51 verse 23.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 51 and verse 23.
Come on.
But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee.
God says, I'm going to put the cup that we had to drink into the hand of your enemies, those that afflicted you. How did
Right.
they afflict us? Come on.
Which have said to thy soul.
They said to, hold on, wait. Did he said, they said to your what?
To thy soul.
Your inner man and woman.
Right.
They said, what did it say to your soul? What did they say?
Bow down.
Bow down. Come on.
That we may go over.
How did they do that? Through slavery.
Right.
And through fear,
Through slavery.
And that
That's how they did that.
trembling of heart, and that
Right.
terror.
Give me Deuteronomy 28:48. Let's show you how they did that. I'm going to finish reading it. Get Deuteronomy 28. It says, which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over, and thou hast laid thy body as the ground and as the street to them that went over. Meaning
Wow, they
these
walk.
other nations walk all over us.
Right.
Right.
The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they
Right.
walk all over
That's
us.
Right.
They do.
Because
you know the state of your people.
Yeah.
Our people ain't crazy.
yeah.
Right.
Because when you think of, when our people think about Mexico and they think about all these South American countries, they think drug cartels, they think resorts, but our people are living in squalor down there. And what you don't know is that the so-called white men in these other nations,
Right.
they were there enslaving us there.
Right.
It's not just America where they was enslaving us.
Right,
In
right.
Africa, they was enslaving us.
Right.
With the British
Right.
and the other nations
British,
that
the
came in,
French.
right.
Right.
And the Japanese and the Chinese over there right now.
Yeah.
It was not just America where these nations was enslaving us. It was
Right.
other countries too.
Right.
Blacks,
Right.
Hispanics, and Native Americans. I want you to get that through your head.
Right.
Right.
Come on, read that. This is how they made our inner man bow down. What was that? The movie Levi did it. Goodbye, Uncle Tom.
Oh, okay.
Where he told him, he said, "Don't look me in my eye."
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And he slapped him in his face. He
Right.
said, "You say yes, master. Thank you, master.
Right.
Yes, master. I want food, master. Can I have something to eat, master?"
That's that terror.
That's
man.
how they broke us.
Right.
Come on.
Point terror over you.
Yes, sir.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48.
Read.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
You're going to serve your enemy. You're going to bow down to your enemy. Come on.
which the Lord shall send
And
against
God sent them against it, so you're not going to be able to win.
Right.
God sent it for your destruction because you broke his laws. Come on.
thee in hunger,
In hunger. What happened when you deprive somebody of food? They'll do anything you tell them.
Right.
Steal, murder,
Just
rob.
right, exactly. Just something to eat. Come on.
and in thirst,
And in hold on, wait. Go back to the first part. In what?
in hunger.
That's why black folks sell drugs to each other.
Right.
Well, I'm trying to eat, bruh.
Right.
I'm trying to eat. You trying
I
to
gotta
get?
feed
Yeah,
my
I
kids.
gotta
Yeah,
feed
that'd
my
be their
family.
excuse anyway.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Excuse,
you
but-
kill your brothers and your sisters just for some food on the table.
Right.
And you know
Read.
Right.
Go ahead, officer.
Come on.
And in thirst.
And for water. What happened when you don't have no water? You dehydrated.
Right.
You start to get dizzy. So you need water. The scriptures say chief thing is water.
Right.
Come on.
And in nakedness.
And in nakedness, clothes to cover your body, because where was we at? Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia, all these
Right.
different places that have harsh winters. And our people needed clothing to cover their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. And hold on, wait. And our sisters, when a lot of our people start to supposedly go back to their heritage, one of the first things they want to do is go back to Africa
Right.
and walk around with no damn clothes on.
Right.
Right.
Like, that's something to be proud of. That's not something. Our people were proud people in the point of our women did not walk around showing their body off like that.
Right.
That's a new thing.
Yeah,
man.
royalty does not walk around showing off their body like that.
Right.
You
Especially not the women.
You made me
Greek
think
is
about was that Rachel when she seen April
Oh yeah.
Jacob.
Yeah.
Jacob.
Covered up.
Yes.
Yeah, when she see, yes,
Yes.
sir.
Oh, you mean Isaac?
Rebecca when she saw Isaac.
Yes,
She put the
yes,
veil over.
yes, appreciate
Right,
it.
right.
Definitely.
Come on, officer.
And in want of all things.
And if you wanted anything, including freedom, you had to bow down to whatever your master wanted.
Right.
That's why we vote. That's
Right.
why we march. That's why
Right.
we beg for the crumbs of society.
Right.
Because they made our inner man, our souls, bow down to them.
Right. Hey, put up that clip with that what is it called? That quote of Louis Farrakhan.
Bring it out.
Louis Farrakhan. This is one of the reasons why you have them quote these type of things according to the precept you just read in Isaiah.
Right.
Lay down. Let's walk over all of these different things. How people was reacting. Now here's they trying to use something to get back, try to stir the people's mind. This is what he was trying to do with this quote.
And the last part of 48 said he would put a yoke of iron on our neck. So they put chains on our neck just like animals.
Right.
They treated us
Right.
just like animals. They broke you just like
Right.
they break a dog, a
Right.
cat, any type of animal.
We was property. That's why the
Exactly.
Willie Lynch
That's
said.
what I was gonna say. The
Yeah.
Willie Lynch letter.
Look at all the different things. You can expound on it, officer.
Yeah, the Willie Lynch letter. It was designed to make sure that you stayed real low, not know who you are, no
Right.
connection to your history,
Right.
and make you think that you are cattle, you are property. That's why
Right.
they changed your name.
Right. And that's that inner man they messed with. That,
Right.
like the officer was saying, that's that inner. They broke you.
Right.
And that's why you was, like you say, yes, sir, master.
Right.
Anything you want. And then you had the one in the house trying to, he was overthrowing everything that they was
Right.
trying to do in the field
Right.
to get out. We don't want this oppression. Let's stick
Right.
together. Well, now there's so much fear was on that inner
Right.
man.
Right.
He ain't trying to go against master.
Hey,
Historically, that's called meritorious manumission.
Right.
hey, I'm gonna show y'all how heavy that was. Remember in Ezekiel 16, the Most High said he put chains up on our neck. We went from gold chains to dirty, rusty chains. God said, if you're not gonna be bound to me, you're gonna be bound to your enemies. Man, that's heavy there.
Said no man can serve two masters.
No man
You're
can
going to
serve two
love
masters.
one and hate the other, right?
Now we got dirty, rusty chains.
Right.
Let's check out this quote. Read this, officer.
Green chain.
Green
says-
check, because when they fade on your neck.
It says, there really can be no peace without justice. There can be no justice without truth. And there can be no truth unless someone rises up to tell you the truth. Louis Farrakhan.
That's what I'm glad you said it. I wanted you to say who said that.
Louis Farrakhan.
Louis Farrakhan said this. Okay, read it again for me,
All right,
officer.
here we go. There really can be no peace without justice.
Okay, so what he is telling you is just like you see the people get on the news and confess that how you hurt me behind killing my daughter or my son. You're looking for peace.
Right.
And at the same time, you're looking for the justice of why this happened to my 12-year-old son.
Right.
Why this happened to my son who just went into the store. Why did that? You looking for justice for that.
Right. Who's going to pay
Right.
for this event?
Exactly.
Who's going to stand up for the blood that was spilled? My
That's
child's
right.
blood that was spilled.
Exactly.
And our people know within themselves that it is a life for a life. An eye for an eye. That's
That's
why
right.
Christ said when he come back, Revelations 13 and 9, when they come back, they going to have to pay for that blood that they spilled.
Exactly.
Right.
He didn't
Right.
kill it with the sword.
It
Right.
must be killed.
Must be.
Must be killed.
That's
One
sowing
more-
and reaping. That's
One more
sowing and
time,
reaping.
officer. One more time.
There really can be no peace without justice.
Uh-huh.
There can be no justice without truth.
There could be no justice without truth. Once again, a cattle and land ain't no justice.
Right.
That ain't the true. That ain't the truth that we need to survive and to get salvation and about religion and about our customs. That ain't the truth.
That's right.
Especially not in the land of your enemy.
Exactly.
Right.
Read on.
And there can be no truth unless someone rises up to tell you the truth.
And that's why the prophets are rising up today.
That's
Right.
right.
Through the spirit of Jesus Christ.
Right,
That's right.
Black
right,
Messiah,
right.
man.
Hey, listen, when someone can go into the word of God and show you exactly your living condition and why it's happening,
Right.
that is someone rising up to tell you the truth.
And
Right.
that
When
is
someone-
the truth.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When someone can tell you, hey, listen, these people that we've been trying to be assimilated to,
Mhm.
looked on with, like, we just want to be accepted by them. When you tell them to their face, the Bible calls them the devil.
Right.
Right.
They are your oppressors. Hey, you can't be mad at that person. He's telling you the truth
Right.
because that's going to lead to the justice that's coming under the black Messiah, Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
That's right.
Right. Can we get that clip the Twitter clip? I want to get that.
And while he get that, pull his precept real quick. Go to Isaiah 45:25. It's eventually gonna come to pass.
Right.
Right now, we ain't got this promise. Isaiah 45:25.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 45 and verse 25. In the Lord shall all the seed of Israel be justified and shall glory.
Not right now. Our time is yet not come.
That's right.
You know, when you gonna restore the kingdom to Israel?
That's right.
Not right now. In due time. You gotta uphold your end of the bargain.
Right.
I promised it to you, just like we promised our kids something. You know, our bosses be promising us raises and stuff. You gotta fulfill something to get it.
Right.
Hey, officer, why it only say all the seed of Israel? Why it only say Israel? What happened? What happened to the other people on earth?
If they would listen to the people who have rose up and would tell them the truth, like Farrakhan said, they'll understand why it's only Israel.
Right.
Read that from the top.
In the Lord shall all the seed of Israel be justified and shall glory.
You see that? Then we're gonna glory. Then we're gonna thank the Most High for bringing us through this oppression. See, if they realize it, you know, all of these atrocities that's happened to us, we have to endure that because of the transgressions of our forefathers. And then in the end, once we endure, then we'll glory. Because what the scriptures talk about. The scriptures say that those who have been slain, they at the throne saying, you know, asking for, you know, us to, for God to come on and put this punishment on these nations, man.
Right. That's right.
So then we gonna glory.
Right. Can I get a precept right quick?
Come on.
3 Holy Children, verse 7 and 8, because the officer just brought out a good point. We got to first look at us. We got to accept something. We did something wrong.
Right.
You understand? We keep begging for justice from a people that's not going to give it to us. And then we don't want to acknowledge where we was wrong.
Right.
You know, when you were a kid, oh, she did that, but what did you do?
Right.
He did that, but what did you do?
Right.
Well, guess what? This is the mindset that we have to have as a nation.
Y'all
Read
got that clip ready for the officer? Okay, cool.
Read that.
The book of 3 Holy Children, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
In all things have we trespassed and not obeyed thy commandments,
Obeyed. Actually have to do something. The action word. Read.
nor kept them,
Mm-hmm.
neither done as thou hast commanded us, that it might go well with us.
That it might go well with us, because that's what we're looking for. We tired of being oppressed. We
That's
tired
right.
of this. We tired of seeing all the injustices to our people, but your heavenly Father saying my commandments would have did it from the beginning.
Right.
Read on.
Verse 8, wherefore all that thou hast brought upon us,
Mm-hmm.
and everything that thou hast done to us,
Mm-hmm.
thou hast done in true judgment.
Right, because we did something wrong. We did something wrong. We can't look at nobody else first but us. Now, the other nations, they went above and beyond. They got a little too greedy or too trigger happy to destroy us, but we have to start off with the fact that we did something wrong.
Right.
Now, watch this. Read verse 9, because this is what we're talking about. No justice, no peace. Read verse 9.
Verse 9,
Uh-huh.
and thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies.
What? So read it again.
And thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies.
There's no confusion why there's no justice, no peace, because the people that we are delivered to, they are lawless.
Right.
That's right.
They not gonna do it the way it's supposed to be done.
Fugitives and vagabonds.
Let's go ahead and get that clip real quick. Now, when I first saw this, you know how it is, Israel. You see something online and you like, wow, what happened? Because they didn't really go into detail when I first saw it. Now, they have no, I want part one. That first part. I don't want part two. Well, we're going to use part two, but I want part one first. We're going to kind of skim through it.
You have a timeline for it? Or just
I'll tell him when to stop.
okay.
So we're going to use both, but I'll tell you when to stop on the first one. All right. Can we hear it over here? It's loud as hell. All right, we ready. So this brother was stopped, and he was not told why he was stopped. He was just stopped. He was
walking.
Yeah, he was walking. Said he was walking from across the street, and he was stopped.
That's a police, right?
Yeah, that's the police officer that stopped him. All right, so as you watch, go to the next video. Go to the next one. As you watch it, the brother is saying, "Why am I stopped for? What am I stopped for?"
Right.
And the police officer plainclothes officer never gave him any reason why he was stopped. All right. While we waiting on him to get that, give me
You know what's so heavy about that too, man, is I think we're gonna touch on this later on too, is this goes into stop and frisk.
Right.
right. That's what
This
we're gonna
man
go
was
into
stopped
next.
for no reason. They didn't even tell him why.
No.
Right.
You know?
Yes, sir. Give me.
My brother.
They did it just
They,
to
hey,
terrify.
they got you out. You
Oh,
want
they
to play
got
it
me.
again?
Okay, yeah, right there. So afterwards, a whole bunch of police cars came out of nowhere, and they just ran up on the brother. And this is the aftermath right here. Play that.
Takes all of them for one brother, man.
Right. Now on the outset, you see this thing, and you like, wow, what, why are they doing that to the brother?
Well, I ain't gonna lie, man. Just by looking at that, I would think they would shoot him.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't shoot the brother. I was waiting for a gun to go off, really, to be honest with you. But we're gonna read this article right here. We're gonna read this article right here, and then we're gonna explain to y'all why I'm bringing this article out. All right. All right, I just posted an article. We're gonna get that thing.
You would think they would say, "Stand back, ma'am. He's a murder suspect. Stand back, ma'am. He robbed the building," or something. You know, give some type of why we're subduing this violent person or this, this person that did something that broke the law.
Right.
Yes, sir. Give me verse 18 in Lamentations 4. Lamentations 4 and verse 18. Because whether you know it or not, the Lord has plenty hints in the scriptures as to who your oppressors are.
That's right. This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 18.
Come on.
They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets.
Even if you doing right, you still, like the officer Michael was bringing out, you got all your insurance, you got everything lined up. You got to make sure you are ready when they come to you.
Right.
And even in the midst of all of that, you can still get busted upside the head. For just mouthing up, "I'm sorry, sir." You have an attitude,
Right.
like they did with Sandra Bland.
Yeah, because they already having a bad day or something, so they're gonna take it out on you because of their position. They know they have the power to do so.
Right. Just like with Sandra Bland, she had an attitude. "Get out of the car! Get out of the car!" He yoked her up, and just because she had an attitude, the way she was handling it, you got to be peaceable with them at all times. I don't care if they cussing you out, spitting in your face. You got to be peaceable with these people.
That's why they put it in the movies, man. I'm thinking about was that Boys in the Hood? They pull them out. You think what are you rolling 60s or something?
Oh, yeah.
Brother was terrified, man. Like I ain't even do nothing. You know, a grown man got that dude standing there crying, man.
Right.
Come on.
Is that
they hunt our steps?
They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets.
Come on.
Our end is near.
Uh-huh.
Our days are fulfilled.
Uh-huh.
For our end is come.
Read.
Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles.
Because when you seen one part of the video, they rolled up on the brother like gangbusters.
Right.
For one person, one person, I would think this brother had a RPG or AK-47,
Right.
what they call it, a Draco, street sweeper, chopper, Mac 10, something.
Like I say, you would think that he done robbed a bank or done killed somebody. You would think he was, a fugitive or something.
We're going to show you what the brother did. All right, come on.
Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. They pursued us upon the mountains.
Read.
They lay wait for us in the wilderness.
Read verse 21.
Verse 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom.
Who?
Of Edom.
This is America is the daughter of Edom.
Right.
That's their forefather. Read.
That dwellest in the land of Uz.
Come on.
The cup also shall pass through unto thee.
That's that cup in Isaiah 51, verse 23. Come on.
Thou shalt be drunken and shall make thyself naked.
That's Revelations 13 and 9 through 10. They going to be drunken with the sword of the Lord. They going to be drunk.
Right.
All right, come on.
The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion.
So it's almost time for us to get up out of here.
Right.
So let's go to the article that I just posted. All right. So I just wanted to bring that out. They hunt our steps in the street. We cannot go in the streets, even in our own neighborhoods, because they gentrifying and coming in there and got police all over the place just to make them feel safe. One of y'all read that for me, please?
The article. A swarm of police officers violently arrested a young black man after they saw him smoke weed in a park.
Come on.
I wasn't really surprised. Fitzroy Gale told BuzzFeed News, I just thought it wasn't going to happen to me.
Come on.
New York police officers violently arrested a 20-year-old man who had just smoked marijuana in a park Wednesday in an incident that was caught on video and subsequently went viral.
Over smoking weed.
Right. Now, what does that remind you of? Eric Garner with a cigarette.
Right.
Selling cigarettes. It took 20 people to, now I'm exaggerating, but it took 5 people to bring this brother down, and he died over loose cigarettes.
And he wasn't even fighting.
Right.
Struggling.
And this brother, he had his hands up. He was telling the police officer, what did I do? He never told him. What did I do? He never told him. Now, we know Jake. They be trying to get out of situations.
Right.
But, and I understand the police officer not telling him what he did, but at the same time, he could have told him, he was like, was I under arrest or anything? Because the sister said, ask him why you being detained. Because, Jake, they get in a situation, they freeze up, they don't say nothing. Right. The sister was coaching him on the side.
Yeah, at the same time, he definitely went against what God said do. I set up the powers that be. Resist not the powers. Right. He was resisting, and it was to his death.
Right. He's not dead. He was arrested.
Right.
Yeah, so I understand what
I'm talking about
Eric Garner. Yeah. Right. Yes, sir. Read the rest of it, officer.
The video recorded by a passerby and posted on Twitter shows a young black man being held by a plainclothes police officer in the Canarsie neighborhood in Brooklyn. The man, Fitzroy Gale, repeatedly asked the officer, what crime did I commit? What did I do?
Wow.
But he doesn't answer.
Now watch this. Read that.
7 more police officers.
How many?
7 more police officers then approached Gile and tackled him to the ground as he cries out and screams, help me, and officer, please. One of the officers appears to step on his ankle.
So he said, he screamed, help me, and officer, please. So our officer was like, please.
Wow.
He actually said in that video, he was crying out. He said, Lord Jesus.
Wow.
Or something like that. So our people always want to cry out to God to help them, but we refuse to obey him.
Right.
You can take that down.
But hold
I
on,
wanted
so-
to bring that out for a particular reason. As I was explaining to Officer Micah, our people think that they're going to find peace in America and you're going to be joint. What's that? Proverbs 3:31?
Yeah.
Yeah, get that, please. Because this goes right in exactly to what we're saying. When we think of no justice, no peace, we always think of dogs being sicked on us, being in certain situations, lynching and stuff like that. But that no justice, no peace goes into trying to assimilate into America and be part of their society, and you're not gonna get it.
Right.
Because God don't want you being part of them.
Look, he was. We were sent here for our punishment.
That's right.
You know, not
Yes,
to
sir.
be equal with other nations and live lavish.
No.
Exactly.
This ain't no vacation.
Hey,
Right.
no,
Ain't
no, sir.
vacation.
Come on, read that.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor.
Now, why am I bringing this up? Because why? What if they've been passing, but the last 4 or 5 years, marijuana laws?
Right.
They've been legalizing marijuana and certain drugs to allow it to be sold because they see the profit from it. And they've changed it from brothers. I know back in the day, we had 3 strikes. When I was 13, 14, 15 years old, brothers get locked up for 3 strikes and you done, what, 25 to life?
That was on the Clinton.
You know what I'm saying?
That was on the Clinton.
Yeah, that was under Clinton for like 8, 9 years. So we know that many brothers were locked up for minor infractions with marijuana.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And now they in jail for 25, 30, 40 years, the rest of their life because of marijuana. And now America is legalizing it so that they see the profit off of it. And our people are thinking, oh, yeah, so now I can smoke weed freely.
Right.
I can smoke weed now because Massa is legalizing it,
Hey.
not realizing that the laws is not set up for you.
Right.
That's right.
It's not for you.
Right.
Hey, officer, you know what our people like to say when you talking to them about stuff like that? They like to quote law to you and say what Esau can't do. Oh no, they can't do that. They can't do that. You know, by law, is this, that, and the third.
Right.
It's like really.
It was another sister in Illinois. She was like a radio show host. She was telling them that when you go to the dispensary, they scan your ID. If you have a government job or you have any type of job or you have a weapons permit, they can take that from you because you smoke marijuana and you could be potentially impaired. So if you have a government job, she was saying you could lose your government job because they don't know when you smoke it.
Right.
You could come to work impaired.
Like you say, so that law was not set up for the other nations because they ain't trying to get high and go to work.
Right.
Nah.
That's in place for our people. They just want to make the buck off of it.
Right.
You know, by legalizing it in these dispensaries.
Gate going by.
Right.
Yep.
And
Yep.
and let's get that on that Genesis 1:29.
Hey, why you getting that officer, that article we was reading? It basically was still convicting the man.
Right.
Because if you read it, it's like they wasn't even trying to, they was like, oh, he was smoking marijuana and like pushing the issue.
Right.
Like that's why they had 7 people take
Right.
him down.
Mm-hmm.
One joint is a reason for me to put my
Right.
foot in your
But
head.
this is what I was saying. So you had one officer that didn't answer the question.
He
Right.
didn't answer nothing.
Then you got 7 more that come. So that's a total of 8 grown men.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That-
And a woman. I think it was a woman police
Okay,
officer
well,
too.
8 grown
8 police
people.
officers.
8
Yeah.
police officers. You telling me not one of them could say, "Hold on, let's just have a conversation with this man.
Nah.
We got him subdued. Now let's tell him what's going on.
Let's help him understand what's happening right now."
Now I can understand places like New York, Philadelphia that have high crime rates, and a lot of people. It's a fast city, so you got fast talkers that might try to get out of a situation. So I can understand in a situation like that, you can't just like tell them why. You have to be, how can I say the word? You have to be cunning in how you deal with them. You know, dealing with a person and you in that position. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know what they might have a weapon on them. So I can understand that, but from the outside looking in, you're like, why he didn't tell him nothing? You know what I'm saying?
This is what I want to understand. This is what I want our people to understand. Go to Baruch chapter 4 4, verse 6. I want to pull up 2 precepts off, so I'll pass it back to you. I want to pull 2 precepts. This is what our people need to understand. That's why you come to the people that understand the Bible. That's why he said, understand what thou readest.
Right.
You know, here's a way of life. Here's the laws of life, how you should carry yourself.
That's
you
right.
know, we are not here on a vacation. We're not here for fun and enjoy ourselves. He said, build your houses, yeah. But you also going to obey the laws of the land.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't defile your temple. All these things they will learn and don't fall under subjection to it.
Right. And didn't he tell him, he said, pray for the peace of the city?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Come on, read that.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 6. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved God to wrath. Ye were delivered unto the enemies.
So he said we wasn't sold to him for our destruction, not for us to be wiped off the face of the earth, not for us to be a low number of people. Because what do they try to call us? The minority.
Right.
Because of the separation they did to us.
That's right.
Because of the envying they put in our spirit.
Right.
You know, they envy one another. We wasn't sold for our destruction, but we moved God to wrath. We made him upset. We made him mad.
Right.
All right. Go to one last precept. I'll give it back to y'all, man. Go to 2 Maccabees 6 and 12. 2 Maccabees 6 and verse 12. So our people have to realize that's why we in this condition that we in now. Because he already prophesied it to our forefathers. Look, if y'all disobey me,
Right.
but I'm gonna put these things on y'all 7 times or worse, man.
Right.
If y'all disobey me, another nation who you don't understand,
Right.
you mean now I gotta turn around and after all these punishment, send the way I'm gonna deliver my word to you is through different tongues?
Right.
Why? Because you learned this but from the other nations. You want to be amongst them, I'm gonna put you amongst them.
Right.
But it ain't gonna be what you want.
And you know what's even crazy? When you talk about a nation that you will not understand, that show you right there, it go deeper than language.
Right.
Because we can speak to them in the language
Right,
that they taught
right,
us,
right.
the language that we know,
Right.
but the way they operate behind it
Right.
is crafty and cunning.
Right.
They don't operate the same. They say one thing to you,
Right.
but they really mean something else.
Exactly.
We
Exactly.
searching for natural love and affection for people who can't. No race that is not of your people can show you natural love and affection.
Right.
It's not natural. It's not
trying to get
natural to
something
love
out
a
of it.
people that's not your people.
So that's why it's so important for our people to humble themselves and come back to God's laws. That's the message we're trying to show our people with this: no justice, no peace.
Right.
You're not gonna have peace in from a nation that ain't trying to give you peace.
Right.
You ain't gonna get it.
Right.
It ain't gonna happen. But once again, this is the reason why these things are happening to us. Come on.
This is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 12. Now I beseech those that read this book.
And that's the first step.
Right.
That's right.
That's the first. Black men don't read, and Mexicans don't understand. They say all these cunning, crafty things to us because Most High knew that we didn't read, that we was gonna be tongues cut out,
Right.
you know, your mind manipulated,
Right.
taught different philosophies.
Right.
All of these things happen to us. So now we got to come back to the simplicity of this Bible.
Right.
And this is what he said. Read that again.
Now I beseech those that read this book that they be not discouraged for these calamities.
You see that? Now, in that time, keeping it in context, he was telling us about the calamities coming up on us then.
Right.
Well, guess what? He's talking about the calamities today as
right.
well.
That's right.
Right.
You see that?
Right.
Right.
Read that again.
Now I beseech those that read this book that they be not discouraged for these calamities, but that they judge those punishments, not to be for destruction.
These punishments are not to destroy us. Why are they shooting us down in the streets? Why are they subdue
Right.
that young man like that? Why are they injecting him with death on death row? You see what I'm saying? Why are these things? They're not for our destruction, but for our punishment.
Right.
We really have to humble ourselves and understand that thing, man. That thing is for real. Come on.
but for the chastening of our nation.
But for the chastening of our nation, not just for that one black man, it's for the rest of us to examine it. You know what? I need to
Right.
quit smoking weed.
Right.
I need to go to
Right.
church, man. I
Right.
need to get right.
Right.
I need to find out the truth
Right.
about this Bible, my heritage, where I
Right.
come from. Forget Abraham Lincoln and George Washington and all those people, man.
Right.
Think about your people, your history, where you come from. What I supposed to do? How great were my forefathers?
Right.
Right.
Man.
And they'll realize that they are our enemies.
That's right.
Right.
That's
Right.
Hey, can I
Yeah.
pull just one precept right before?
Yeah, real quick, because we're going to start to
all
wind it down.
This just goes to the solutions, because I hope we transitioning into that. Get Baruch 4 verse 37, same chapter where the officer just brought out that we were sold to the nations for your not for your destruction. This is how we have to come together, because some brothers might think, oh, you know what? I could be a Muslim, I could be in Islam, I can be in Buddhist, and we
Right.
could be able to see eye to eye. No, the scriptures is not going to say that.
That's right.
Baruch 4 verse 37. This is how we come back together. This is how we start to fix our situation where we will get justice from the only person that authored justice, and that's the Most High God.
That's right.
That's right.
That's
Read
right.
that.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 37.
Uh-huh.
Lo, thy sons come,
Mm-hmm.
whom thou sentest away.
Now you see why, man, we had the Memphis milestone. We had the different things going on. The sons of Jacob are waking up.
Mm-hmm.
They
That's
come
right.
together. Read.
They come together from the east to the west.
Now you don't understand why IUIC is going to Africa and
Right.
waking up the children of Israel in
Right.
that part of the world as well.
Right.
But let's see how they come together. Read.
They come together from the east to the west by the word of the holy.
How do we have
by
to
the
come
word
together?
Huh?
How do we have to come together? Read that part again.
They come together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One.
This Bible is going to make us come together the way the Most High needs us to come together.
That's right.
That's what it is. Everyone has to humble down, submit, and transition into the Word of God.
That's right.
Let's go to 1 Peter 1 and 13. We're going to wrap up this article, and we're going to move on to the next topic, and then we're going to start to wind it down. Give y'all some solutions. I know Officer Micah got some mighty solutions.
There we go.
1 Peter 1 and 13.
This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 1 and verse 13.
Now, Genesis 1 and 29 deals with the herbs of the earth.
Right.
And when you read Sirach 38, it speaks of medicines from the earth, because our food is medicine. Our food is what keeps us sustained. It was meant to be food, not to intoxicate you where you can't think properly. That's not how we had a connection with God. Not high. You know, Egyptology is a joke. Come on.
All right.
This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 1 and verse 13.
Come on.
Wherefore, gird up the loins of your mind.
Gird up your mind. Build yourself up in your mind. Come on.
Be sober.
Be sober. Be sober. You cannot be high and serve the Most High God.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
And hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Jesus Christ.
And why do most people get high? Because they going through some problem and they ain't got no hope. They depressed. They want to deal with and solve their problems through drugs and alcohol abuse.
Right.
Right.
So we're not supposed to be high, whether it's marijuana, alcoholism, because the Lord told the Levites not to come into the temple if they had anything to drink.
Right.
Because why? You was not sober. The Lord said you be put to death. So we can't play with the Most High like that. There's,
Right.
oh, he gave us these herbs and we can use. They were for medicine.
Right.
Medicine. All right. So from there, let's go to the stop and frisk. Let's deal with that real quick. I know you had
I think I had one more thing. No. I'll wait till you get done with
Yeah.
that one. After this
Stop and
article.
frisk.
I got one more. Well, yeah, I do have some on that. But if you want to pull that one first,
Yes,
then
sir.
we'll pull that the campaign one on the stop and frisk.
Yes, sir. Let's deal with it's an article, a Wikipedia on stop and frisk. All right. And I'll read it. Put that thing up, the Wikipedia on the stop and frisk, and then we'll deal with the the video afterwards. I'm going to make this real quick. This goes back into Lamentations 4 and 18. Read that real quick. Lamentations 4 and verse 18. Because we are in the land of our enemies. We're in the land of our enemies, and they control your movements. When you're in the land of your enemy, they control your movements. They that hate you shall reign or rule over you. All right?
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 18.
Come on.
They hunt our steps.
Read.
That we cannot go in our streets.
Uh-huh.
Our end is near.
So that's all I wanted. Now go to Psalms 94 and 20. Psalms 94 and 20. They hunt our steps so that we cannot go peacefully in our streets. All right? And we can't go peacefully in our streets because even if you're doing right, they're going to suspect you of doing wrong.
Right.
Because there's so many of our people that look like us that's doing wrong. The majority of drug dealers.
Right.
Black, Hispanic, and Native American. All right? And yes, we know that they supply us with the drugs, but we still selling it.
Right.
Right.
Come on.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 94 and verse 20.
Read.
Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law?
Whether you know it or not, America is the throne of iniquity, the throne of sin, the mother of all harlots.
Right.
Babylon the Great, the land of confusion. Come on. That frameth what?
Mischief by a law.
That frames mischief by a law. Sin by a law.
Right.
They make sin a law. So then now you go against that, now you got a problem.
Right.
Homosexuality,
Right.
you got a problem.
Weed.
Yeah, marijuana, you got a problem.
Right.
All right, because it ain't for benefit us, it's to benefit them.
Right.
All right.
Right.
So let's get that stop and frisk. All right. So that's that Wikipedia that I posted. I want to make sure I have the Wikipedia that I posted. That's it right there? That's it right there. Right there. You just passed it up. It's the graphs. Yeah, it's got a graph on it. Yeah, there you go. All right, Israel. All right. Hey, okay, so it says the stop, question, and frisk program, or stop and frisk, in New York City is a New York City Police Department practice of temporarily detaining, questioning, and at times searching civilians and suspects on the streets for weapons and other contraband. This is what is known in other places in the United States as Terry stop. Now, we also know that like places like Texas, some of the other backwoods places, they would stop you and they would ask to search your car because, you know, we're not really a metro type city where it's a lot of walking around. We have vehicles, so mostly down south, so they will stop you and ask to search your car. Right. It's kind of the same thing. It says the rules for the policy are contained in the state's criminal procedure. In 2016, a reported 12,404 stops were made under the stop and frisk program. The stop and frisk program has previously taken place on a much wider scale. Let's see. The controversy regarding misuse. Go down to that part. The controversy, because this is the issue. Was they were saying that people were being stopped and frisked consistently. Like, I get stopped and frisked 4 or 5 times a week. You know what I'm saying? I'm in one part of the city, they stop and frisk me. Right. I'm in another part of the city, I go to work in Upper Manhattan, they stop and frisk me. Right. But I live in Brooklyn, and when I get back to Brooklyn, I'm coming off the train, they stopping and frisking me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the issue, is that it was being overused and it was targeting blacks and Hispanics.
Right.
All right. Come on. My apologies, y'all. Okay. New York police officer Adrian Schoolcraft made extensive recordings in 2008 and 2009, which documented orders from NYPD officials to search and arrest black people in the Bedford-Stuyvesant neighborhood. Schoolcraft, who brought accusations of misconduct to NYPD officers, was transferred to a desk job and then involuntarily committed to a psychiatric hospital.
Wow.
Damn.
He was wrong.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Damn.
Evil.
So, hey,
That's crazy.
isn't this what they always do to
Damn.
their people that try to stand up for us?
Damn.
Well, like during the Underground Railroad times, they killed them, put them to death.
Right.
Yeah. You
Like they
try-
did
yeah.
the one that was what is it called? He put the 13th tribe on blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Right there. Grab me, pass me that book.
He put
Pass me
out
that
that
book.
history. They said, "Oh no, you gotta go."
This book right here, what the officer talking about, the
Right.
13th tribe. He supposedly committed suicide, I think. Yeah. Or natural causes
Yeah,
or something.
something's supposed to happen to
Yeah.
him. They took him out.
Oh, him and
Yeah, they took him out and his wife. Yeah, exactly. So it says in 2010, Schoolcraft, who brought accusations of misconduct, so he tried to speak up for the police officers who were misusing stop and frisk. To NYPD investigators, was transferred to a desk job.
Wow.
And then involuntarily, it was not of his own will.
That's the opposite of voluntary.
right.
yeah.
Meaning forcibly,
Right.
like we was brought over here.
Involuntary.
Committed to a psychiatric hospital.
You going crazy?
Right.
Involuntary.
You lost your mind.
Right.
Wow.
In 2010, Schoolcraft sent his tapes to the Village Voice, which publicized them in a series of reports. Schoolcraft alleges that the NYPD has retaliated against him for exposing information about the stop and frisk policy, and he filed a federal case. In response to allegations that the program unfairly targets African American and Hispanic American individuals. Now this is where we get to the video. And your boy that just I'm saying y'all boy, not
Yeah.
our boy. If you unrepentant, your boy.
Who,
Right.
Mike Bloomer?
Yeah. Then Mayor Michael Bloomberg has stated that it is because African Americans and Hispanic Americans are more likely to be violent criminals.
That's what he
and
said.
victims of violent crime.
That was his statement.
Right. What he's saying is that we are more than likely to commit acts of crime on each other.
Right.
That's what he's saying in a nutshell.
Mhm.
We're more criminals, and when we do commit crime, we commit it on each other.
That's the way they set it up for it to be.
Right. Exactly.
You know, and
And that's all I wanted to bring out.
yes,
on
sir.
that. Yeah.
And while you was on that shows you all the imagery that we see as well.
Right.
When it comes to the world star, hip hop, and like I said at a time before, even on the news,
Right.
they bringing you that.
Right.
They bringing you, look at him, fighting against him, and this person killed that person. They constantly putting it out there in your face.
Right.
They constantly letting you see it. They constantly putting it in your mind. This is how they got. This is that old term, brainwashed.
That's
Right.
what it is.
Right.
Wipe that on. Wipe that off your face.
Right, man. Hey, why the officer look for that? You ready, officer? You got something?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Right here, Psalms chapter 50 and verse 19.
Hold up.
Hold on, wait. Yeah, I'm gonna start
up.
at verse
Hold Okay.
18.
I'm there.
Psalms
I got-
chapter 50 and verse 18. Watch this.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 50, in verse 18. When thou sawest a thief,
The ones who was committing the stop and frisk unlawfully. Come on.
then thou consentest with him,
Uh-huh.
and has been partaker with adulterers.
So they partake with adulterers, the midst of sin. Come on.
Thou givest thy mouth to evil,
Uh-huh.
and thy tongue frameth deceit.
So stop and frisk. It was all deceitful.
Right.
It was evil.
Right.
Come on.
Thou sittest and speakest
What you said.
against thy brother.
Their media.
Right.
Their media.
They put
Come
it in
on.
your mind.
Thou sittest and speak against thy brother.
Uh-huh.
Thou slanderest thine own mother's son.
Because whether you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans know it or not, the so-called white man is,
Our evil twin brother.
yes, he's the twin brother of our forefather, Jacob. All right? So when you think about all the things and the evil that he's done to us, man,
Right.
it just is, it's being exposed now.
Hey, I want to
Yes,
pull out
sir.
this precept back of what you're saying on that with that article and with that last precept that you just did pulled out. Go to Psalms, was that 94 and 20?
Bring it out.
94 and 20. When they made the laws and, showing you that, blacks going to be more than likely to, fight against blacks and do all these things. They want to put him in office so the rest of his laws or bills or ideas could be passed.
Right.
So if he thinking in that fashion and that's against contrary to God, guess what else going to happen? This scripture right here is going to be fulfilled.
Right.
Come on. 94 and 20.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 94 and verse 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law?
You see that? They frame it mischief by a law. Stop and frisk. What is the other one they did? You mentioned what's his name, Bill Clinton before.
3 strikes you out.
3 strikes, man.
Yeah.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They did all of these things by deceit.
And guess what? They admitted it years later.
Later,
oh,
right.
it didn't work.
Right.
That was a bad idea.
Right.
So these are the laws that they did by mischief. They framing laws by mischief. The dispensaries, and what else they do? Legalizing prostitution.
Right.
You see, they do all these things that they know against God and that our people have a lust for.
Right.
Yes,
You see
sir.
what I'm saying? And we indulge in those things,
Right.
Yes, sir.
knowing that they're against God, man.
Keeping them in sin.
When the scripture tell you not to lust at the woman's beauty or not to look up on a woman, and then they put it in the commercial where the women is all
Right. She the
naked.
center point.
Right, she the center point. It's a commercial about a hamburger, but you got a naked woman on the screen.
Eating it all,
Right. Eating.
Right.
lustfully.
Right, and that goes back, and we can say no justice, no peace. That goes back to our sisters breaking away from us during the civil rights movement to join the so-called white woman in the women's liberation movement.
Right.
Right.
So now, and it goes even further to what Captain Zakar and them did to class in Miami, talking about the women that are in the music entertainment industry. They want to be so-called Miss Independent. Now you don't even know how to. Nobody's supporting you when you sign your contracts.
Right.
So now you get in contracts and you making all this money, shaking your butt all over the TV and the internet, and you only made $15,000 in the last 2 years.
That lady, right?
The sister,
She's from Houston.
no justice, no peace. You ain't get no peace because you thought that you could be part of this society, and you got misused by your own people.
Right.
By your own people. That show you right there. Our people, man, they sick.
And
They sick.
as far as on the no justice, no peace, it's like our people cry out.
Right.
And it's like they sit back and they go, you know what? Give them that. But we got another law to back that up. Matter of fact, get
snap.
Daniel 7 and 25 right quick.
I like
Bro,
that.
Esau's books of laws,
Daniel 7 and 25.
his books of laws is like thick.
Right.
And Jake is not for to sit up and read none of all them laws.
Tax codes.
Yeah, he got sub statutes
Right.
and statutes and sub statutes and stuff go way back to 1935 that you ain't even know about.
Right.
Hey, that's how Trump got him. When there was some law passed
Right.
back, and he said, wait a minute, y'all passed this way back. I could do this. Yeah. We still live.
This the book of Daniels, chapter 7 and verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
So understand, this is going into, of course, your so-called white man, but also you could go democracy, the no justice.
That's still his.
Still his. Everything is about his. This
Right.
world is his right now because the world was given to the hands of the wicked.
That's
Right.
right. officer.
Read.
And shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
Man, we wore out.
That's
We
right.
getting shot down. We getting slandered. Like the man was slandered with the for the
Detained?
death row.
Yeah.
They slandered this man, said, you know what? They played with him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
you know what? You can get off.
Right.
Nah, better yet,
We gonna
bring
we
you
gonna put
back
a
'cause we
restraint
found
on.
this another law.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Read.
And think to change times and laws.
They think to change times and law. That's what they do. It's always been they changing laws and times against us.
Right.
The Israelites, the
Right.
people, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, he's changing laws for you. He's doing it against you.
Mm-hmm.
He not worried about his people already doing whatever they want to do.
Right.
Right.
Read.
Whatever they want to do.
Right.
Right.
And they shall be given into his hands unto a time and times and the dividing of
That's
time.
350 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's given to his hands.
Man, I'm glad you pulled that precept. That segue right into this other precept I was
All
sitting up here
praise.
thinking about. Go to Job 13:7. They frame it laws by mischief, and then they think to change times and all of these things. And guess what else they say? That we're a God-fearing country.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Oh,
We're a
man.
God-fearing country. Let's see what this Bible say about those people that say this is a God-fearing country.
Right.
That set laws by mischief. Watch this.
Verse 9,
13.
13, and what verse?
13:7.
This is the book of Job, chapter 13 and verse 7. Will ye speak wickedly for God?
That's what they doing. They speaking wickedly for God. Well, in God we trust, but we gonna set this law in place where you can continue to stay oppressed.
Right.
Come on, man. That's why our people be not trusting in God, man, because they say they fear God.
Right.
Right.
Read.
Hypocrisy.
Yeah, hypocrisy. Go ahead.
And talk deceitfully for him.
This is written in the law. This is written in the Bible. Slaves, obey your master. You speaking wickedly for God, man.
Right.
Why you do God people like that? As a judgment for that.
Right.
So this is what they doing, man. Would you speak wickedly for God? You saying that God is going along with this.
Exactly. he allowed me to
Right.
steal this country.
Exactly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Come on, man.
For real. That's what they really do believe. They really
Right.
do believe that. You know, they think in their mind, well, surely this is what's supposed to be because God allowed us
Right.
to take this place
Exactly.
and to take over our enemies.
Manifest destiny.
And we
Right.
just gonna ask for forgiveness.
Right, but you know what? They put it on the money and who we trust.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what they
Right.
say. In God we trust. But then why you got people killing each other for it?
Right.
Why you got people lying to each other for it?
Right.
Even in firms, what do they call it? Money laundering, all kinds of
Right.
stuff
Right.
for these dead presidents.
Right.
You know?
Right. And it go back to that, you know, everybody quotes it all the time and said if you a steal, you a cheat, you a lie, and you a murder and so forth. And that's America summed up in a nutshell. So like you be having people quote that and say that, and they don't be knowing what they really saying.
Right.
The end of this place is destruction because the foundation was built on was blood.
Exactly. All right, so we're gonna try to segue into wrapping it up. Give me that last article with I think his name is Winston Hill Church or
Winston Churchill.
Winston Churchill. We're gonna segue into closing it down, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this radio show. Wake up, Jacob.
Wake up, Jacob.
Wake
Man, this was a good topic, I think, to line up with some precepts, man. As we looked at these news articles and clippings and quotes
Right.
and all these different things that we brought forth to the people today, man.
Right.
All right, so let's pull that up when y'all get it, brothers. And while we wait on that, since they don't have it up yet, go to Lamentations 3:22. And then we're going to jump into some quick solutions out of the Bible for our people.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 3 and verse 22. It is of the Lord's mercy that we are not consumed, because his compassion fail not.
You see that? He got so much compassion for us.
Right.
He'll allow us to keep going through these things and until we get ourselves right.
Right.
You constantly getting reminders on the TVs when you're walking down the street, when you're at your job and people ain't speaking to you and people trying to get you fired and
Right.
you see what I'm saying? Get you locked up. Whatever we going through is because of his mercy
Right.
that we're allowed to see these things, not change, my people.
Right.
That's what's set before us. Read it again.
It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassion fail not.
There go the last one. Roll it. Yeah, that one right there. Right there. Nope, not that one. We don't want the news clipping. We passed that. Yeah, pull that out. Pull that out. So we know that we are, getting punished in this nation. We want our people to realize this. And they don't know that they have enemies. They don't know. But watch what this quote say. Watch what this quote say. Come on, read that.
You have enemies? Good. That means you stood up
For something.
That's right.
sometime in your life.
You see
That's
that?
right.
So guess when that sometime was? Go to Psalms 19:7. He said, leave that quote up there. I want that quote to stay up there. We have enemies.
Right.
Guess where you find that at? In the Bible. The Bible
Exactly.
lets you know that.
Right.
So this quote is real.
Right.
God has it.
You have enemies? Good. He said that's a good thing if you have enemies.
Right.
Right? That means you stood up for something. Now, man, y'all make me want to go somewhere else with that. But I'm going to just quote it. In 1 Peter 4, and I believe it's around about 4 when he says, that the people, they're gonna look at you strangely because you don't ride with them no more and do these type of things because you don't do that. You have enemies? Good. That means you stood up for something. You quit rioting and going to clubs and gang banging because you standing up for something.
That's
Watch this.
right.
Come on. Pull out that precept.
19:7.
Yes, sir.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 19 and verse 7.
This is a solution for this quote this man said right here. Come on.
The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple.
You see that? So we were some of those simple men that have been pulled over,
Right.
stopped and frisked. All these different things that happened to us too. But it made wise the simple. We were simple men.
Right.
You see that? But we stood up for something.
Right.
Right.
You see that? We wasn't fulfilling no more the precept in Isaiah the officer pulled about. We laid down and say, walk over us.
Right.
No, we saying we're gonna abide by the laws of the land
Right.
and of this Bible as well.
That's
Right.
right.
You see that?
Right.
So that's a part of the solution. Here's another one. Go to James 4:17. Keep that quote up there, man. Because I'm going to keep putting it out people's face. Because if you're not keeping God laws, you need to strive to.
Right.
Right.
That's right.
Come on.
The
James.
book of James, chapter 4 and verse 17.
Come on.
Therefore, to him that knoweth to do good.
You see that? That young man know you ain't supposed to be smoking no weed, man, in public. I think they say you can do it in your privacy or whatever. They'll let you buy at the legal dispensaries or whatever.
Right.
But you ain't supposed to be doing it in public. I think it is in some places. I'm not sure because I don't smoke weed, so
Right.
I don't know what the heck going on with
In the
that.
Bible, so we ain't doing it.
But you know to do good though.
Right.
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 Read it again.
Therefore, to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin.
So the moral of that precept, what God is saying is, you know to do good.
Right.
So that's a solution. Do good.
Right.
Find out. You know if you're hanging around people that's stealing,
You gonna get
you're a part of that.
Right.
Get away from it. You know to do good. So you know that's wrong. That's what
Right.
that scripture telling you. And that's just a small example.
Right.
All right. Go to Job 34:2. You have enemies. Good. That means you have stood up for something
Right.
sometime in your life. This is what you're supposed to be standing up for. If you love me, keep my commandments.
Right.
Right.
You know, do good. Don't do evil. You know, follow the laws of the land. Read that.
This is the book of Job, chapter 34 and verse 2. Hear my words, O ye wise men, and give ear unto me, ye that have knowledge.
You see that? Ye that have knowledge. He wants you to get it.
right.
He wants you to get it. Give ear unto me, ye that have knowledge. Stop. Bethink yourself.
Right.
Be converted.
Right.
You see that? Two more precepts. Go to Proverbs chapter 3, verse 1. Read that real fast. I'm gonna try not to stop you in between it. 1-7. And we got one more after that.
3 and verse.
Chapter 3, verse 1-7.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 1. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments.
That's why we just read in Job.
That's right.
Ye that have wisdom, take heed. Listen, understand, get wisdom. Read.
For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee.
You see that? Peace should be added unto you. Long day, not a shortened day, shortened by somebody else taking your life with injecting you, shortened by somebody shooting you down in the streets. You'll have long days if you listen. That's why he
That's
say,
right.
don't forget it. In
Right.
verse 1, he opened up like that. Come on.
Right.
This is a solution. Come on.
Let not mercy and truth forsake thee.
Mm-hmm.
Bind them about thy neck.
Mm-hmm.
Write them upon the table of thine heart.
You see that? You see what our forefathers even did? They replaced binding this up on their neck, teaching to their children. They bind them natural chains up on their neck. That's what happened to us because we didn't bind this up on our neck.
That's right.
This is a solution. Keep God laws. Come on.
So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man.
You see that? So that's why we don't see these much heartaches as Israelites, as repentant men,
Right.
as walking upright, being examples. We don't find all these heartaches like this.
That's right.
Getting pulled over and thrown on the sidewalk. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? Come on.
Trust in the Lord with all thine heart,
Mm-hmm.
and lean not unto thine own understanding.
Come on.
In all thy ways acknowledge him,
And all our ways acknowledge him. Guess what's one way to acknowledge him? Not only by keeping his law, statutes, and commandments, but by being an example, by the things that you do
Exactly.
and you shouldn't be doing.
That's
You're
right.
acknowledging him.
That's right.
Exactly.
Standing for something.
Is
Right.
there
For
you
what-
go.
for what
There
he
you
say.
go.
Right.
There you go. That's that quote coming to life through the scriptures. Come on.
And he shall direct thy paths.
Come on.
Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil.
You see that? Fear the Lord and depart from evil. That means you standing for something in your life.
That's
Right.
right.
That's where that change supposed to come about. That's where that solution for your problem.
Right.
That's your, instead of no justice, no peace, we got justice, we got peace in these scriptures.
Right.
That's
We
right.
got justice and peace in these laws because of the promises that are promised to us, because we following this, because we believing in it. Last precept, Proverbs 31:9. This is what's not been happening in this society, but this is what has to happen for our nation. We have to abide in this. Come on.
That's right.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 31 and verse 9. Open thy mouth, judge righteously,
That's right.
and plead the cause of the poor and needy.
Guess who do that every week on these streets? In other countries, all
That's
over the
right.
four corners of this earth.
That's right.
We
That's
go
right.
plead the cause of our people.
That's right.
We bring them solutions.
Right.
We
Real
tell them about the situation you're in. You don't have to be, because some of us was there. Some of us used to sell drugs.
Right.
Nope,
Right.
not no more.
That's
We
right.
bringing them solutions.
That's
Right.
So wake up, Jacob.
Wake
Wake
up.
Wake up.
Wake up, Jacob.
Wake up,
Bring
Jacob.
this precept out, officer. Give me Isaiah 28 and verse 9. 9 through 10, then jump to 13. Jump to 12. Come on,
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 28 and verse 9.
read.
Whom shall he teach knowledge?
The knowledge is the laws. Come on.
And whom shall he make to understand doctrine?
It's saying the same thing. The doctrine is the laws. Come on.
Them that are weaned from the milk.
The milk is the basics. Understanding the Sabbath, understanding the high holy days,
That's right.
fringes, beard, the basics. Come on.
Right.
And drawn from the breast.
All right.
Verse 12.
10.
You can pull
Verse
a quote
10.
down. You can pull a quote
on.
down.
Okay. Verse 10. For precept must be upon precept.
So we have to have precept upon precept. That's another way, like the officers was saying, that's another way that we give rest to our people. Come on.
Precept upon precept.
Uh-huh.
Line upon line. Line upon line.
Uh-huh.
Here a little and there a little.
Now jump to verse 12.
Verse 12. To whom he said,
To whom he said, which is God said. Come on.
this is the rest wherewith ye may cause the weary to rest.
By
That's
teaching
right.
them the basics, by teaching them God's law. Stop trying to go deep.
That's right.
Stop trying to go and break down everything. Just give them the basics.
Right.
That's right.
They don't need the deep stuff. Come on.
And this is the refreshing, yet they would not hear.
So some of our people are not going to hear this, especially
Right.
in these last days. But as the officer was bringing out, that's how we're going to come back to this proper understanding. All right? It's
Right.
precept upon precept, learning the basics. Psalms 111 and 10, ain't that right?
Yep.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Right.
Good understanding have all they to do his commandments.
Right.
So you're only going to be able to understand why we in this condition and how to get out of this condition by keeping God's laws.
Yeah,
That's right.
Definitely. So we hope y'all gain something from this. Of course, like I said, we went through some articles and quotes, trying to get our people some more understanding on how real today is and how the Bible, is still relevant, man.
Right.
These are things that we should be governing ourselves by as a nation. So with that, I'm Officer Micah.
Officer Liar.
Also, R.A. Judah.
Officer Abraham.
Right.
And Officer Ram.
And,
All right.
and Israel, don't forget to donate to the Booster Club. Go to Original Royalty. We got Bibles, Apocryphas, the Passover's coming up. You know what I'm saying? Got the new moon coming up tomorrow night. Just get ready, Israel, because we need to make sure we're keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, all right?
That's right.
That's right.
All right.
That's
So
right.
wake up, Jacob. And with that, we say shalom.
Shalom.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.